Greetings, dear ones. Happy Friday, the 11th of April. And just here on the East Coast, we have amazing blooming and greening of everything. So I was compelled to wear green and be in green and allow for the greening or the budding of things within you. And I won't talk much today about what's going on in the world because if I just simply listed the titles of articles and subject matter, it would probably be 2 hours of just simply listing what's going on in the world, and in particular our country. But I do want to allow for you to experience some of the ease and purifying and comforting amidst this maelstrom of issues and challenges we're facing right now. And I was preparing for today, as I do all throughout the week, but this morning, in pulling a particular oracle card, it was the compass. And I thought that very interesting as I'm preparing something to help people access or hear what the guidance is to create the sacred geometrics and the energetics that have been coming forth all week, to allow people to feel some of that ease or serenity within when and as one is connected deeply to your own innate, which is your soul self, which allows an automatic connection to the divine as it presents in all things, and the divine on a larger scale, whatever word you use or whatever your concept may be of that. So I'll try to show it to you before the end of the session, but it basically said, as long as you point your north or orient your compass to true north, the direction of your innate, in my wording, you will never be lost. And I think that is certainly the case as an overall national feeling as well. Our true north are the basic bottom line values and key principles of a democracy and of what we feel is freedom as a country. And it further went on to say that you are going into uncharted territory. And yes, this is uncharted territory for this country, for we have never been in this position of not having and being able to depend on, look to, and participate in the system of checks and balances that we have had. So it also mentioned that we are in, and I'm speaking globally because this not only applies for some recent or yesterday's clients, but also for us as I was preparing for a larger container for today. That there are wonderful new experiences ahead, and those of you who have listened to this perspective over the past years know that both individually and collectively, I've spoken about the need to go in and through the dark to be able to come out the other side with, individually, more of you, a certainly wider perspective, because when we are at the mercy of, let's say, our patterns, or when we're still very much under the influence of those patterns, we tend to see things as within the framework of what we've always known. So the choices and the possibilities are thereby limited. When you have transmuted these patterns within you and you are now embodying more of you humanly and divinely, the width and breadth of possibilities, potentials, choices automatically opens up, automatically widens, as if we had blinders on and the blinders are taken off, which is a wonderful experience that my clients have, have resulted in their work here. And so too, on a larger scale, we are going through the depth of the dark and moving into the deepest, darkest places, not only of a nation and the opposite of freedom, but the same structure that we've been studying for tens of thousands of years at this point. But on the other side of that, and those who can tune in, you can feel it just like the little budding and the grass coming up and the plants coming up and the little buds opening up on trees. You can feel what's going on underneath. No matter what is going on around us, our deepest sense of what is important to us, what is kind of the make it or break it points in our lives, our loved ones, our homes, or wherever you may dwell, our pets, certainly, our ability to speak our mind, our choice in what we choose to follow as far as a spiritual path, our ability to create what we want and what is calling us from inside, from our hearts and from our deep passions, our choice and our wanting to have clean air, clean food, clean water to utilize in our daily lives, our ability to be healthy and choose the path of health that we want. These are all very, very basic, I believe, to everyone, not only in this country, but on this planet. And I don't believe, and haven't for the many years that as a seer I've been watching, that we are going to go into hell and never come out again. But as each of us individually must go in and explore those individual hells and move through them to the other side, so too must we and are we as a nation and as a planet. We can no longer be in a process of evolution and utilizing the technology and science available to us, the engineering, the breakthroughs that we're encountering across the board in all countries as far as science is concerned, and still have these very base, primal, destructive aspects of human nature. So this is the process. This is the process individually that we go through. This is the process of our collective society and world. And underneath that, if you tap in, and certainly that energetic is very, very present this week, not only with the help of nature and all the budding and sprouting and the growing that's going on underneath the soil, but also you will see individuals standing their ground. You will see people continuing on their course of following their passion. And oftentimes that's without kind of knowing how it's going to happen, how it's going to come about, but staying true to that passion. And that was, again, one of the things mentioned in this card today, was not only we're moving into uncharted territory, but that if and when we point that compass to the true north of the divine within, my words, I'm paraphrasing, and as such, with that divine within, you're tapping into the divine, however form you work with it. It allows for the faith and trust that this compass will ensure that you'll never be lost, even on a starless night when all seems dark. So, as usual, when you are in that place of connection with your divine inner self and thereby the divine in all things, messages, synchronicities, assistance, little touches, reminders from the universe, from your guides, from everything around you, when you are open to that, when you have more access to your inner information, and thereby it's a communication system, an information system that is around us all the time. And no matter what disinformation we may have from our own subconscious, from the outer world, the more we anchor into and follow that compass, the more support, the more messaging, the more guidance, the more applause, the more accompanying we feel. And along those lines, last night I had a beautiful new client who I'm going to be working with, and we had just finished our session, and I was asking the oils, and in preparation for pulling the oils, and she chose a chocolate. And those of you who have been here in person working with me know that at the end of a session I have chocolates here and they have a message in them. And so she opens the chocolate, and the message is something along the lines of, when you explore your roots, you will never be planted. And we had just finished this session going into the exploring the root causes, or my sharing with her how the process works is going into find the root causes of, or root patterning of, what you're experiencing in your outer life, your issues. And when that is done, when we have accessed that through this proprietary process that is a cooperative, collaborative effort of each person learning who they are, know thyself, knowing how your energy field works, knowing how your defense system works, learning, relearning, remembering the languaging of your own unconscious and subconscious and beyond conscious. Because it doesn't speak in nice, clear English sentences, as I've mentioned many times. It comes in symbols and metaphor and stories that you hold within you from your own individual history. So it is your own languaging. And we forget that as we grow up and depend on the cognitive and intellectual means of communication, which is linear language. So it is an involved process, but when we access the root of those patterns, it literally takes that pattern, the energetics come in and take that pattern and dismantle it or unmantle it, take it apart, and that pattern is never thereafter the program from which you function. So it was very prophetic. The Dove chocolate was, and it is Dove, I will give them kudos. It said, again, when you find your roots, you will never be planted when you access it. So then I'm pulling the oils, and those of you who have, again, worked with me either online, virtually, or in sessions, or personally in sessions, or in workshops know that the oils come kinesthetically. My eyes are completely closed. It is actually just a sense through my body. First of all, where the oil is going. Second of all, which oil it is. And then I pull it and interpret from the characteristics of that oil, the spiritual sense of it, the energetic or even the physical aspects of that oil, either single or blend, and where it's going on the body, and interpret what it's saying, hearing, so to speak, of what it's saying. And so I pulled the first oil, and I had to laugh because she just read the chocolate. We were talking about it, and the first oil that came was an oil blend called Bloom. We both had to laugh. The oils are so wise. They are so alive, so willing and able to cooperate with us. And that's for everyone. It's not just, I've been doing this for 25 years, so I have a very strong relationship with them. But my clients, when they first even start using the oils, will get to know very quickly how to listen to them, how to communicate with them, and receive the information, the support, the guidance, the little laughter. And so, naturally, when I looked at the oil, I was very amused. So was she. So then I pulled the second oil. And the second oil was an oil blend called Grow. Again, I'm laughing because initially I didn't see it. I was just interpreting what was being said. And when I went to speak, then I realized what the name of the oil was, having seen it for the second time. So now we're blooming and growing. And the third oil I picked, or was chosen, or was told to use, was an oil blend called Aroma Life. And as we're talking about all this greening and springing and flowering, etc., the idea of an aroma coming from plants and trees, etc. And she came in with very heavy-duty allergies from this blooming and growing. And after utilizing in the very first minutes some oils on her, she had complete relief, no headache. She came in with a very, very intense headache, not being able to breathe, dryness in her throat, coughing. And it all went away within minutes and never returned throughout the session. So they are utterly amazing, and it is not only the oils, but I want to emphasize the level of and the depth of communication potential when we are truly connected and moving from our true north, which is our innate. I'm pointing to your innate, which is about 3 finger widths below your xiphoid bone. That is the direct line of communication to your soul. So when you are moving and tuning in and asking your true north, that is your wider self. That is your soul. It is always and forever going to point you in the right direction, the highest and best pathway for you. So no matter what is going on outside, no matter what is going on around, you will still have that assistance. You will have that confirmation, that validation, that amused, hello, we're here. And after we'd gone through this process of the chocolate and the oils with the bloom and grow and aroma, after working with the roots and them no longer being planted in her, she tells me that she loves themes, that she absolutely loves anything with a theme. And then of course, even my mouth opened, my mouth dropped, that they would be so knowing of her that they would go to that extent to not only give her a message, not only reinforce what the message was from the chocolate guides, but to fine-tune it to the point where her individual joy comes through themes. So again, this is true. This is what occurs. And this is what you too can experience. No matter what is going on outside. Yes, like an individual process, these patterns that we've been living with and under may completely dismantle, may completely fall apart. And then as this is going on underneath, this growing in the soil of each one of us, of our passions, our deep beliefs, our true north, it will be built more in those images, more in alignment with what is deeply, truly human nature, when that those primal, primitive, destructive aspects are transmuted or transfigured. So that is what's here, a lot of what's here this week. Some of our animal helpers are the quail, and quail is wonderful because it speaks much about, let me not misquote, excuse me a second. It's strange, let me just grab my notes that I pulled up. And quail symbolizes protection and community and the importance of pursuing one's life purpose. And that was very significant, again, in the preparation for this. This is what we're anchoring in. This is what we're holding to as our true north. Your true life's purpose, no matter what the market, no matter what society, no matter what others may say, do, think about it. And the other animal teacher that was very prominent this week was owl. And of course, we all know that owl represents wisdom, knowledge, and intuition. But more so, the ability to see beyond the surface, beyond surface appearances. And that's the strongest message of owl this week. And owl was thankfully right outside my window this week. I haven't heard them for a couple years, and so I was very, very grateful and communicated with them, and had this deep practice with the owl that was literally outside my window. And that seeing beyond the surface was further theme this week when a client was sharing with me a project she's working on, an exhibit, a very interactive exhibit that she's working on, and the title of the exhibit is Love Beyond the Surface. So again, we see what's going on the surface, but feel into what's going on under the surface in you, in our world, and certainly in the Northern Hemisphere as we see spring popping up, all that's going on under the surface to allow for that budding and sprouting and greening and blossoming. The last very, very strong energetic this week that is going to be part of our work today energetically is sound. And sound has many, many, many different emanations and forms and ways of presenting. But this week was again following along that theme of inaudible sound, beyond the surface, beyond what appearances. And those of you who have come for workshops know that oftentimes as people are entering, I will utilize a master Tibetan bowl to cleanse the system. And I'm going to be channeling that today, as well as other frequencies of sound, so that the energetic is actually activating, enlivening, and awakening some of what is budding in you, some of what is under the surface that needs to come forth, whether it's something that needs to be removed, such as weeds in our garden, or something that wants to give birth, something that wants to come forward, despite what may be in our surroundings. So I invite you now to just settle into your chair or your couch or the floor, or if you choose to lay down for this one, please do lie down. The energetics are promised to be very, very deep and very powerful. So I encourage you to do so. I also encourage you to just begin to breathe or notice your breath. Not breathing in any particular way or in any particular method, but simply allowing the breath to move as it will, as it is, in you, through you, right now. Just no work, no effort in it. Simply noticing, simply experiencing that breath, that movement, that nourishing and allowance for every system in your body to function through that breath, the oxygen we take in. And when and as you so choose, I would invite you to extend the inhale just a little bit and allow for a much more extended exhale. And as you do so, within a very short period of time, very few breaths, you will notice a shifting within your system, allowing for a deeper relaxation, allowing for you to maybe even breathe a little deeper. No necessity to do so, but if you notice that, great. And as you're breathing deeply and really extending that exhale much longer than the inhale, just feel whatever there is to feel physically, energetically, emotionally, environmentally. Maybe you notice a little chill in the air. Maybe you notice a slight breeze. Again, without having to track, but just feeling around you. Maybe you feel the chair. Maybe you feel the clothing upon you. Your hair. Just feel whatever there is to feel. And continue to breathe a bit more with those extended exhales. As we begin to allow the sacred geometrics that have been building all week and that are here right now, surrounding you, holding you, framing you, to experience more deeply you, the divine of you, the divine in all things, and as you allow your energy field and your wider self, your soul self, to drop you ever more deeply, you might begin to feel some heat in certain areas of your body, or even if you're a sensitive in your energy field. Nothing to do with it, and if you do not, no worries. But as you begin to do the vagal breathing that I was describing, you are purifying or beginning a purifying process that the energetics are then going to access, combined with the universal sound. And that is not one tone or frequency, but instead the exact right tone, frequency, in inaudible sound ranges that are exactly right for your system at this moment in time. The beautiful sound of the owl hooting is the only thing that you will ever indicate that an owl is nearby. For their wings are constructed in such a way that they make no sound as they fly, enabling them to hunt, of course. So if you've shifted back into a more individual breathing pattern, wonderful. We're going to further incorporate in these sacred geometrics the new universal origin concept. No need to try to wrap your brain around that. Just allow yourself to receive, to feel, to experience, to sensate whatever is going on in your own individual system, your own individual experience, including your environment. And this internal true north that each of us has throughout all lifetimes on this planet, in other dimensions, worlds, realms, even in non-human form. Your true north will always be with you, for that true north is your innate, your soul, your essence. That is you in all your many physical and non-physical experiences. And as we deepen, we may experience the sacred geometrics continuing to form and even kind of lock in, for it is including not only all of the energetics that I've mentioned and that are coming forth through this week's preparation, but all of your guides and teachers and masters as part of that construct, as well as those of anyone who listens at any time after this live. For it is already known, already anticipated, and therefore all of those guides and masters and teachers are part of this construct, part of this beautiful container. And in that, allowing for deepening, for you to drop even deeper without having to do anything, without having to know anything, without having to track anything, without any effort, without any intention, without any goal, without any focus. There is nothing you need to do. There is nothing you need know in this moment. Simply feel, simply receive, simply feel, sensate, be. And now I can feel the dream masters knocking on the door. And the dream masters assist and guide and oversee the process of dreaming. Dreaming asleep and dreaming awake. Daydreaming. Designing. And so the invitation is for your dreams, whether they've been delineated or spoken, or even in your conscious awareness. Perhaps they haven't yet arisen to that point. Your dreams for yourself, your dreams for your family and community, your dreams for your country, your dreams for the world. Maybe those dreams are just below the surface. Maybe they have peeped just a tiny bit above the surface or the soil, as in our plant analogy, trees. Perhaps they have been growing all along. Perhaps you already are living your dream, and now new branches and buds are coming forth to expand upon that dream. Be it your own business, be it where you choose to live, be it how you want to feel with yourself in relationship to the divine, in relationship to others. Just as plants, grasses, and trees, bushes receive nutrients and support from the very soil, so too are you receiving what you need in this moment. Perhaps you're still in a planting stage. Perhaps something is just showing as a seed of your dream or dreams. Holding fast to those dreams, to that passion within. Listening, tuning in to your true north. Those dreams are part of your true north. Your innate is your compass. And through the messages and synchronicity and helpers in the physical and in the non-physical, the opportunities, the people, the information will come. Allowing for that growth, for that blossoming. To then receive the aroma of your life. As the oil so wisely pointed out. So again, you may be feeling movement or tingling or heat in certain areas of your body. Or again, if you are sensitive to your energy field, in your energy field, for there is a purifying happening. Just as we need to remove any rubbish or any of the invasive plants in order for growth to occur, so too in this instance there is a purification occurring. burning off, so to speak, of some of the toxicity that we've been immersed in, not just through current events, but in our air, our water, our food, our clothing. So much that taxes our system, our livers, and the many other cleansing organs that we have within us. Again, nothing you need to do, nothing you need know, nothing you need focus on. Simply allow. Simply sensate. Simply experience. You. And I'm hearing we're going another level deeper. Further under the surface. Not only for the purification process, but more so to allow you potentially a deeper connection to your internal world. A deeper experience of you in perhaps a deeper state of consciousness. Where the mind is no longer driving, but instead you are in a state of non-physicality or less physicality. Shifting into perhaps a theta state, which for many feels just like falling asleep. And falling asleep is quite alright in this type of energetic healing process. For it allows for deeper receptivity and intaking of all that is being offered, all that is being transmitted, all that is being channeled very individually tailored for you. Some of you may have noticed we just dropped into a completely new bandwidth of the energetics. And again, you may feel or not, perhaps again you are in a semi-trance state or theta state. Or what seems like just on the edge of sleep or even sleep. For so much of who we are is below the surface, beyond the surface of what we experience in this physicalized dimension. Just keep allowing, nothing to do. No effort whatsoever. Just receive. Just experience. Different areas of your body. If you do not, that is fine too. We're shifting into another configuration of the energetics. You may experience it intensifying a little bit. Or what has been aiding us is some black hole energy. Which are change engines. It's accelerating your individual process and thereby affecting the collective process. going to stay in this particular energetic configuration for a couple more minutes. As the energetics, some of these beautiful and powerful energetics are implanting in your system to open and unsheath over the next couple of days. And the beautiful full pink moon which will be present in the next 24 hours. Is sharing some of her energy, that soft, beautiful, kind of rose quartz pink energy of the heart. And you may notice that or experience that in very particular areas of your energy field, I hear. Areas that may correspond to psycho-emotional or physical challenge you have going on. Now the earth, Lady Gaia, through the land itself and the soil is reaching up towards your system to allow you to feel the earthing of you. The nurturing, nourishing, beneficial offerings of the energetic earth and the physical earth itself. She's inviting you to come and walk upon her, to smell the aroma, whether it is of the soil, the rains that are so prevalent in many places, the blooming, the blossoming, the very trees themselves, the bark, the clean air as storms come through. Inhale that deeply over the next couple of days, allowing you to feel her under you, with you, and allowing you to meet her, Lady Gaia, the earth, so that that interconnectedness and interrelatedness can feed one another. And again, as always, as we're coming back to a more physical reality, I encourage you to follow your own, again, your own compass, your own way as to the pace and timing and rhythm and way. In other words, not necessarily pulling yourself out by any means. You're welcome to stay in this energetic if you have the time to revel in for 2 minutes, 10 minutes, another hour if you so choose or can. Otherwise, I'm hearing that over the next 2 nights and throughout the days, as you ask, as you tune in, as you allow, this configuration of energetics is very, very powerful, and bringing in, whenever you tune into it, a sense of deep, calm, serenity amidst the maelstrom. This is a great scene from, I think it's the 3rd Pirates of the Caribbean movie, and the ship is being blown up, and the representative of the East India Company is walking down the stairs, and he's out of it, but the energetic of him is this absolute stillness and serenity as everything's being destroyed around him. And so that's what you can tune into or access through this particular configuration today. It'll be on YouTube. You can go back and listen to it. It'll be here on Facebook. And I encourage you to allow yourself to continue this by joining me on Friday the 18th. I'm watching the weather. I'm hoping it's not going to rain for a labyrinth walk. When you register, I'll share with you the address and parking directions or parking instructions, but we will be incorporating all that is within this particular labyrinth from many, many years, many, many energetics. There's magic, there's many things that this particular labyrinth offers. And we also have the energy of Passover and Easter, and the full moon energy will still be with us on the 18th. And whatever stellar or cosmic configurations at that time as well. So it'll be at 3 o'clock on Friday the 18th. Again, please contact me, reach out, and I will register you. There is no cost, but I am inviting each one to give a donation of suggested $25 to either the Sierra Club of New Jersey, the New Jersey Audubon, or the Camden Rescue Mission. So again, that information will be coming to you when you register, how to do that and how to evidence that, or to bring it here when you come. And the following Tuesday as well, I think the 22nd is a Tuesday, is Earth Day. Yes, it's Tuesday. I will be having an event here in my healing space, and we're going to be working, again, a cleansing process on multiple levels of your system, but also for planting in some of those dreams and aligning with different areas or aspects of our earth for you to continue to cooperate with and learn from for the following weeks. So again, I'll post that today, but please contact me for more information or to register. That is going to be an in-person event, and all of the materials will be included. So I encourage you to join me and join with Lady Gaia on Earth Day, 7 p.m. And until next time, please know that it is with the deepest of honor, gratitude, and love for your presence here on the planet. Be well.